Welcome back to our interview special, which I like to call Mindful Madness from the breathtaking island Ikaria in Greece, where we are currently gathered to host breathwork and tantra teacher trainings. So, as I get to indulge into all of these valuable lessons and insights every day, I felt the need to share some of that with you by inviting new guests on the podcast. Together, we're speaking about most frequent questions and challenges we're facing in our buzzing society. Till kicked this off in our last episode from a psychological standpoint mixed with a splash of yoga philosophy. Now, I would like to introduce you to Kristine, breathwork teacher and spiritual guide with every single cell of her body. She is called 100% breathwork ambassador for a reason. In the past years, she has worked in this field exploring different modalities that take us to the non-ordinary state of consciousness and beyond all of our limits. While teaching breathwork in retreats all over the planet, she also spreads this beautiful medicine in breathwork teacher trainings, which is where I first met Kristine. Up until this day, she still remembers her own first breathwork session where her breath brought her to the breath. Welcome, Kristine. All right, so maybe let's look at the first category, the first topic that we want to talk about today, which is stress and multitasking, the feeling of being overwhelmed every day. How do you personally create space without feeling guilty for pausing?
Thank you. Thank you, first of all, very much for the invitation. Yeah, it's a very beautiful question, very a topic which is very alive now. For me, pausing is not disconnecting. For me, pausing it's not kind of going out from something. For me, pausing is actually reconnecting, but reconnecting with the breath. And the breath will remind us that the life moves on cycles, right? Inhale, exhale, expansion, contraction, doing, stopping. Yeah, this is how the life moves, right? So when we pause, actually we are not moving out from life. No, we are moving towards ourselves, our soul, where we can really meet our soul. And there where we create safe space, more space for creativity, intuition, we create space for life. So we need to pause. And I'm telling this from my own experience, because I think when we don't pause, the life makes us pause. It happened to me. I was running projects, trainings. And one day that source says, "Hop, it's too much." Something happened to me, and there were several months that I couldn't even move. And it was such a big lesson. Like, I was giving you signs, pause. You need to pause to create space. So pausing is actually creating space, not moving out from the life, but moving inward and creating more space for creativity and for ourselves.
That's such a beautiful way to put it, because I feel like, especially nowadays, people are actually afraid of pausing because they want to be in constant productivity mode, and people are scared of pausing.
Yeah, fear of missing something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we end up missing ourselves in the space.
So true. So say if someone feels overwhelmed, but they just can't slow down. What's one first step that feels realistic to do?
I would say breathe. But before breathing, let's just understand what is overwhelming. The way I understand overwhelming is when the mind is like kind of chasing ahead of the body, right? The mind is in the next responsibility, next task, next month, next year. Yeah, the mind is somewhere, but the body is in presence. So there is a disconnection between mind and body, and the sensation of overwhelming it happening. So the first step is not happening in the timing, it happens in the awareness. To bring the awareness, my mind is there, I'm overwhelmed, I need to do this task, that task, but my body is still here, yeah, in the present. And the first step is it's a breath, yeah, really, because when we overwhelm, also all our bodies goes into tense, yeah, the breath is changing. And when we say breath, it doesn't have to be these long breathing sessions, no, it can be just very deep inhalation, soft, gentle, long exhalation, because this is also a sign to send to our nervous system that we are safe. It's fine. We can pause. We don't have to run. We don't have to rush. And this rushing is a little bit the game of the comparison. Yeah, we have to do this, we have to do this. And we're about ourselves. We're about just to sit with ourselves. Because also the breath takes us back to the truth, not the stories of the mind, but the truth. And the truth knows that at this moment I have to be here in the awareness and not run after something more and more.
That's really interesting, and it brings me to another short question that we can maybe dive into. What does the truth mean for you?
I can say that each of us, we have our truth in the way, yeah. And the deep, deep, deep truth is to be authentic, to do what your soul wants, not to do something that your mind has created, not to do something that we are conditioned. And that is, I am born in this country, I am given this religion, I'm given a name. I sometimes choose a profession not based on what I really want. Maybe my parents are doctors, I want to become a doctor. Yeah. So there are so many things, and the truth can apparently take several shapes, but the ultimate truth is what my soul wants, what the soul that is in this body wants. This is my understanding of my truth. Yeah. And sometimes it takes a long path to be able to listen, to get a point where we can really listen to our soul. Yeah, this is the truth.
From a breathwork perspective, and you have years and years of own practice, but also practicing with other people, being taught, you have your own mentors, your own spiritual guides. So from a breathwork perspective, how do you think does constant low level stress affect our system?
It's a very good question, because sometimes we are so putting attention on the big stresses, not really counting this drop. Yeah. For me, low level stress, which is accumulating, it's like live in a subtle survival mode. Yeah. It's like to walk with an invisible backpack that has lots of stones. It doesn't mean if I don't see them, they don't exist. But it's a like subtle mode, survival mode. And what is happening when we are in the survival mode? What is changing? The first thing, the breath. It becomes shallow, the chest tight, the body goes into different state. So what can bring us to release all of this is the breath. What is changing first? The breath is changing first. By changing the breath, we are giving signs to our nervous system, and then our nervous system gives a sign to all the body that it's safe, you can release. Yeah, I find breathwork is a very, very, very amazing tool. You know why it is amazing tool? You don't have to go to therapy. It's the most affordable tool. You are on your work, close your eyes, take deep breath. Yeah. You are at your house, you are in the nature, you don't have to have an appointment, find time, find finance, no? Because when we say breathwork, it It's hundreds of different techniques that can help us. It's the most affordable tool and most powerful, right? Because the first thing we do when we come to this body is we inhale. The last thing we will do, we will exhale. If there is anything more important, I'm happy to hear, but I think there is nothing more important that is breath. So we can always use it. You know, I think, in my opinion, many solutions are in the simplicity. But sometimes we think we need the doctors, we need the biggest curanderos or whatever to find the solution it is. But what if in the simple acts we can bring at least ease in the situation, right? It's always good to ask a help. And it also shows us the vulnerability, which is strength in the way, no? But the first thing is in our hand. Many solutions are one breath away from us, just to catch this breath and change something.
That's so true. I remember in class this week you mentioned that oftentimes when you look for solutions, you go to nature first. Same as you say, so many solutions are in the simple things. So the nature, not that nature is simple, but nature gives us this this kind of point to come back to whenever we look for something or some answers that we cannot see.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it. Sometimes I say that, yeah, my answers I'm looking in the nature. Nature shows us the cycles, everything. When I really don't find the answer for me, I try to find the answer how the nature is solving this. Yeah, we were talking about the physiology of breath and how what is waste for the tree, it's food for us. What we are exhaling, it's food for the trees. No, so there is a connection in the nature. We should look at the nature. Nature is the powerful teacher for us. Not just a mother that gives us everything, but it's this best teacher, and teacher that reminds us the humbleness also. Yeah, the simplicity. There is so much beauty in the simplicity.
Wonderful. So another topic that I would like to talk about with you is how to handle expectations nowadays. The fact that people are tending to wanting to please themselves, but also please anyone around them. And the huge topic of boundaries, how to set them, what they are, how to make sure that you're really sticking with them. So the first question is, what is your personal definition of a healthy boundary?
Mm-hmm. It's a very important question. Thanks for bringing this topic. For me, the healthy boundary is actually not going away, but staying with yourself. For me, the healthy boundary is act of love. Yeah, it's not an act of separation. It's act of love. Yeah, the healthy boundary is that I can meet you here. Why here? Because this is a space, a march, or however we call, where I am still connected with me. I'm not abandoning myself. Because if I go beyond this, I will lose connection with myself. And if I don't have connection with myself, how I can meet you? Cannot meet you. So the healthy boundary for me is staying with, honoring my energy, honoring my spirit, honoring my truth. This is the healthy boundary for me. So it's an act of love. It's not an act of separation. We need to learn to love ourselves. It will bring also that it's fine, we can say no.
How would you teach people to tolerate the discomfort that comes with protecting your own energy?
Yeah, I would teach through breath for sure, because that's my medicine. But yes, what is happening when we are entering into discomfort, when we have to protect our own space? It is first of all the fear of disappointing someone or disconnecting. We think if we say no, we will disappoint, right? So it kind of comes from the fear. That's why we are afraid. And what is bringing it? Again, the breath is changing, the body is changing, yeah, to sit with this discomfort, yeah, to breathe into this discomfort, because when we run away from this discomfort, we will kind of come into circle again and again, and this discomfort can be a doorway to our true spiritual path. Yeah, this is something that all my essence says no, but my mind says no. You will disappoint your best friend to say no, and where is the truth here? No, so I have to sit with this discomfort, breathe through this discomfort, and the discomfort will become a doorway for myself to remind myself that I can be with someone only when I'm with myself. And if I cross this boundary, then I'm gonna lose connection again. Yeah. Through the breath. Just just sit and breathe, not run away from this discomfort.
What would you say is the most beautiful thing that can happen if I'm brave enough to stay in that discomfort?
Or, you can turn that discomfort into a powerful tool. Powerful in the meaning, none of us will like discomfort. We like the comfort in everything, like, and especially in this discomfort of disappointing someone, disconnecting someone, we feel all of this, no? And when I'm staying in this discomfort, I'm creating such a powerful doorway, yeah, that is taking me to the liberation. The stories I create in my mind. Because sometimes it's a story, sometimes it is okay to say no, and the person in front of you will accept it's okay. Sometimes it is my story that I think if I say no, no, I cannot come with you to, I don't know, then my friend will get disappointed. No, maybe it's okay. Sometimes maybe even they ask from being polite, not really asking you to go out for a coffee, right? It's a way to honor yourself, honor your spirit, honor your energy, honor your frequency, honor your truth.
It brings me to this next question, because we're like, life is not always black and white. We've got the desire to make everyone around us feel happy, but we also want to stay true to ourselves. Kind of what you mentioned before. So what happens if someone feels torn in between these two, like torn in between people pleasing and authenticity? What would you say can anchor someone who's in between one and the other?
Yeah, here the question will be who I'm staying with. Am I staying with myself or no? Who I'm abandoning? Yeah. The authenticity lives in the body. Yeah. But the people pleasing lives in the fear of disconnecting with the people, right? It's a choice. Do I want to stay in my body, or do I want to enter the frequency of people pleasing because I'm afraid to lose them, I am afraid to disappoint them, I'm afraid to disconnect with them? Yeah. So yeah, it's about really honoring who I should honor. It's such a simple thing, and we hear it so many times. I should first respect myself, then I can respect you. I should love myself, then I can love you. But that has this, again, in the simplicity, there is a big wisdom. Who I'm abandoning, who I'm staying with. So the breath again will help me to come and see my truth. What is at this moment happening with me? What do I want to do? Yeah.
And it seems like it's always based on the fear. But then I sometimes question if I tend to please everyone around me because of that fear, and I stay away, or I distance myself from my own authenticity. I'm just gonna end with the fear of losing myself. I had this friend, or I heard this quote somewhere saying that living in an authentic life means that you will always disappoint someone.
Yes.
You just need to make sure it's not yourself.
Yes. But also, of course, we know that pleasing also can be a response of nervous system, yeah, the window of tolerance, because there are moments when we cannot deal that situation. We go fight, flight, freeze, or start pleasing people. It's also maybe looking at this from where my people pleasing comes. Is it my response? And generally what I suggest my students is, can you just go back and start remembering, let's say, some discomfort moments when you had this discomfort in your body when you went into the people pleasing, and see from where this response came. Sometimes it just come respond from my nervous system. This is the way of I coped, or I stayed alive in that situation. Then we need to work on it. Yeah.
So I can speak for myself when I say that in the busyness of our today's world, sometimes it feels like there's so much pressure to just keep it all together, to live in your masculine, to be strong, to move forward. And it affects your self-worth. So that's something that I would love to look into with you.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to someone who feels like behind in life?
I would say there is no behind. There is no behind. You are always at your own time, at your own path. No, the feeling of staying behind comes from the rush of comparison. Behind of what? I would ask. Behind of what?
Everybody else?
Who is everybody? How many billion people we have in the world? So behind of who? The villager who is there cultivating the vegetables, not really looking at the time, or the one who is living in a big city and has to even calculate minutes to get a metro. Behind who?
Or maybe even behind the developments of the world. Let's say AI technology. I just feel like I can't follow the pace of this world.
Yeah. And who said we should follow? Who said we should follow? Whoever resonates will follow. Whoever doesn't resonate, we will stay in the space. Imagine we are in a walking or marathon. Everyone wants to reach, but is everyone capable of that? And is it really worthy for everyone? Yeah. What is also for us? Is this the I want to reach the destination, or I want to enjoy the path? What do you want? There are different ways. We go out for a walking. I can start looking around the beautiful trees, and maybe I don't even reach the destination. I want to go somewhere and watch a movie, for example. No, but then in the park I meet such beautiful people singing in the park, and I sit and I enjoy it. What is more important, to reach what I was planning, or whatever the life is bringing? Yeah. So I would say there is no behind, actually. Everything happens exactly the time that it has to happen for you, because we should remember we are individuals living in the collective. Yeah, but we are also individuals. My timing can be totally different than your timing, or the way you understand the timing.
Because we are trained to follow along and to be on top of things all the time.
You said it so correctly. We are trained. But to train something, it's what is there, what is deep down. Yeah, we are trained, and then we can untrain it. Yeah, we have the power. We always have to remember we have the power. Sometimes we will go through some discomfort. Yeah, I don't have all of this tool. Yeah, that's all fine. But I have the tool that, as Kristine, is serving me. Yeah, and I cannot have all the tools. If I try to grab everything, at the end of the day, my hands cannot have this much thing. I will lose them. What is important for me? I need to prioritize in life, I think, what I want. Yeah. Do I want to go and learn new tools or whatever? No, I'm not there. Maybe I prefer just to sit and breathe and look the sunset. And that's all fine. What makes my spirit happy? Mm? Yeah.
For someone who wants to connect to their self-worth, Where do you see self-worth living? Is it more in the mind? Is it in the body? Is it in the breath?
I would say it's in the body carried by breath. It's very, very simple. I exist, therefore I'm worthy. It's not me who decides that I will not live forever. About the rest, I don't know. There will be moment my soul will leave this spirit. There is something bigger than me. We can call God, we can call source, we can call great spirit, we can call awareness. Whatever we call, the name is not changing the essence, right? And the God of my understanding wants me here. That means I'm worthy. Yeah. There is not any other. I think this is the first step in spiritual path, to understand if I'm here, if I exist, that means I'm worthy, right? The source, the great spirit, for a reason wants me here, so I'm worthy.
Love that. Now, I'm grabbing a topic that I am safe to say I've been dealing with almost all my life. If someone feels like they're never enough, where can healing begin for someone like that?
This is the enough for what? I am enough for walk. I have two legs that carry me. I am enough for breathing. Enough for who? Enough for what? Yeah.
Maybe for the goals that I set for myself.
Then there I would ask a question to look at the goals. Does the goal come from the mind, from what society wants, from your parents, maybe your partner, or the goal what your heart wants? Sometimes we put the goals which doesn't resonate, and it's okay, because I started my life as I had to study something that at that moment I could work and kind of pay my bills. Yeah, I didn't even imagine that there was no other choices, and I had to go through all of this. And after 15 years of studying, everything leave behind and change my life 360%, like totally, right? And it took time, which is okay. I honor it, but that wasn't a goal that I set, because at that moment, this profession that I chose at that moment was respected. So it wasn't a goal that was resonating. Of course, I wouldn't be enough, because I'm choosing something which is not me, which is not resonating with myself. I would then just look at the goal. What is my goal? When I really sit with my goal and see that the goal is resonating with what I want, then I will understand that I'm enough. I'm enough.
Maybe let's extend that question to, what can I do if I feel small? Like really small.
Yeah, and again, this comes from comparison. Small compared with what? Small compared with what? Yeah. I would every time, I will say, sit and breathe in that. Yeah, sit and breathe. And sometimes, even if you feel small, that's okay. And sometimes, if you feel like there is something I cannot do, that's okay. That's also okay. There is a reason why I cannot do it. Maybe I cannot do it because I have to pause, because I have been running. Yeah, I can bring my example. The how life teachings are the best. Yeah, I'm very active. I was very active. One project after one. It was like boom, until accident happened, and several months I hardly could walk. Now I'm still recovering, and every time I have this memory, I will do this, I start doing. After 20-30 minutes, my body is like totally different, and I sit with this sensation. I have the frustration because I want to walk without pain. I want to go back to yoga to do this, asanas that I like, but my body has the limitation now. And then when I sit with this discomfort, I understand this is the way my body is keeping me in pause, because I still have to be in pause. The accident is very recently, it's just several months. My body still needs me to recover. If I have all the power to do what I do, then maybe I will forget about it. I need a pause. I need to come back to myself. So again, it's small compared of what? Small compared of, yeah. And I think also remembering that everything is changing every moment. Yeah. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, it's nothing stays. Everything is impermanent, right? So small compared of what? And if there is something that I cannot reach at this moment in my life, okay, that's also okay. Acceptance. Yeah. And how we can accept, just breathe in that sensation. Yeah. Now you will say every question is the response is breathe, but that's true. That's true. Every it is this first. You need to bring that, and the breath itself. It's the full connection. It's like teaching our nervous system. Like we speak about the boundaries, the discomfort, the people pleasing, right? The breath teaches our nervous system to honor our body, yeah, and which shows us that it's okay. Actually, it is necessarily for us. This is the safety space for me, yeah. So come back to your breath any moment, and it's so easy. Every breath is one breath far away from you. Just catch it, come back, and stay with your breath, yeah.
And that is why you are 100% breath ambassador.
Yeah, I'm 100% breath ambassador. My co-colleagues, he told me he's gonna design a T-shirt for me, 100% ambassador. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. I'd just like to close off with like a final closing question.
Mm-hmm.
What is one truth you wish more people would pause long enough to feel?
I would say that is who I am. Yeah, who I am. That's a question. Sometimes we work all life. No, there are teachers who dedicated all life on this to find the truth. But let's stay more in the more. I don't want to say achievable, but who I am in the sense that what I really want, yeah, what my soul wants. I think if we really can find that truth, it will guide us. And sometimes, when we find this truth, we are kind of, because we think in some other things, and the truth shows like maybe this is your path. And sometimes it's also difficult to leave behind what you have been doing in many years and then follow what your heart says. But at the end of the day, when we see it, breathe, and feel, we understand that when we follow our heart, we feel complete. We don't feel all of that. Maybe I don't have all the gadgets that it is out there. Maybe I don't have all the titles that are out there. But I have me. I have peace. I have harmony. When I wake up in the morning, I say thank you for waking up. When I pray from abundance. Yeah, saying thank you. So finding ourselves. Yeah, I would say it's just to find what my spirit wants.
Pausing long enough to find who I am. There is not one single word that I would want to add to this. So thank you very much, Kristine. Thanks once again for sharing your thoughts, your knowledge, your perspective on all of these questions, relevant questions that have been asked by my community and by so many people out there that at times can feel lost. So I really hope that the answers Kristine has provided will help you along your way. We've got one final amazing guest in the line. His name is Andreas, and in real life, he is a self employed physiotherapist, fitness coach, and is co hosting yoga teacher trainings. He actually flew to the island just in time from his last TTC to join us here as an assistant for the Tantra teacher training. As a young entrepreneur, you get to benefit from his extremely relatable own life experience about the struggles of meeting everyone's expectations, constant overstimulation, attachment, and so much more. Don't miss out on part 3 of our interview special. I hope that just like me, you feel calmer, lighter, and a whole lot less pressured, knowing that what matters is your own pace, your own truth, and first and foremost, to trust your own breath. I send you all my love and light, and I look forward to welcoming you back here for part 3 as soon as you hit play again. And one more thing before you head off. If you have any questions or you would like to get in touch, learn more and grow more, check out my website whoiam-official.com or send me a message at healwithjackie. You can find me on Instagram. I would absolutely love to get to know you and work with you. So, see you there.